Hey, bro, when you put water on your toothpaste, is it cold water or warm water?
Cold.
Same.
Yes, sir. Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay. Okay.
We finally agree on something. 2, 1. Welcome back to the Words from the Nerds podcast. We are once again back talking about She-Hulk. This is She-Hulk episode 5. We are late. I know all two of our fans. We apologize. We know you wait every week for this. We apologize. We have episode 6 coming out in about 6 hours from now. Six,
Yeah.
5.5 hours. So trying to get this one up, but once again, joined by my co-host Charlie. Charlie, how are you doing?
It's a fantastic night. I'm ready to defend this show, this episode to the death because you're an absolute hater. So that's okay. But
Well,
I love Jennifer. She's staring at me right now. So I love you too, baby.
you better say something. Better say something good about my show, which I will because I rewatched it before we recorded today, and I did like it. I did come to like it a lot more than my initial first watch. But we'll get into all of that. But yeah, I guess I'll give my short little review. Yeah, I liked it. Initial first watch, like I said, I didn't really feel it, but coming around to it again today, there was a lot of stuff that I learned to enjoy. There's a lot of stuff that I was able to put my finger on and say I did not really like this, and I this is probably why I didn't like the episode. And so yeah, I came back around to it, and I'm glad I did rewatch it. I probably should rewatch a lot more of the episodes, because I think we should just accept what this show is trying to do and rate it that way instead of looking at it like, oh, this isn't as good or as well structured as Falcon and Winter Soldier or as Loki, Moon Knight, Hawkeye, whatever you will, and just take it as what it is and rate it as that. And so I think that's what I'm gonna start doing. And uh, I'm ashamed to say I started doing that with episode 5, but at least I did. So now I know what to expect for the last half of the season, and I'm excited. So where are you
Yeah.
sitting at?
I agree with you because that was one of my main points last week was that I'm realizing what this show wants to be and what it is accomplishing by being that. And so it took me till episode 4. So in all
Yeah,
fairness to you, but that's why I liked this one a little bit more. Maybe I think that the case of the week sort of setup worked a bit better for me. One of the things I always go back to is like the whole Disney Channel aspect to it, and we've talked about it many a time. And I just think in comparison to Titania, in comparison to Donnie Blaze, I think Donnie Blaze was much more Disney Channel than Not that Titania wasn't, but that Donnie Blaze was much worse of an offender than Titania was. I actually found a lot. I mean, I will say it's also weird. I don't know if you ever watched The Good Place, Aiden, but I think we already talked about this. But the Jamila Jamil, I think I said her name right. Hopefully,
yeah, I think that's right.
she's from that show, and I've seen her on something else other than that show. But even in that other thing, she's British. She has a British accent. I believe it's British. And so I've never heard her American accent before, and it was so off-putting for me this entire episode. I still enjoyed her um to a certain degree. There was stupid things like when they were leaving the courtroom after she lost, and then that one guy that Jennifer went on a date with came up to her like, "So, Titania, what you got?" She's like, I guess you can buy me things. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, bro. Like, what is this? Mean Girls? Like, what are we talking about right now? She's rich. She's rich. She has a
Yeah.
clothing brand or whatever. But you know, this aside from everything like that, I found this way funnier, way more funny than the last episode. A lot of this was hilarious. Aiden and I talked about it before. Pug and Nikki, they were standouts for me. Probably but I also said this to Aiden. I don't know if I like them together or if it's just that they play off of each other for themselves in such a good way to the point where I like the whole thing with Nikki and the boba guy when she started speaking Chinese to him, and it's just like, oh my god, I offended him. He's mad at me. I loved that. That was hilarious. And then
Yeah.
Pug, like, I have some love for Pug just because I think I talked about it in one of the early episodes. He was in Arrow, and I loved him in Arrow, and he's doing good stuff here too. I think he hasn't really gotten that much, but this episode was kind of the most he's ever gotten so far, and he was good in it. Like he kind of set up the connecting threads for everything else, with like the costumes and stuff. But I think overall, I think Nikki's probably one of my favorite characters of the show. She's
Yeah.
she's she's just pretty funny in everything she does. Like I think when they were initially confronting Titania, and Titania, the one fan came up, and then Jennifer, they're like, the fan was like, "Hey, can you take a picture of Titania?" And then Nikki's like, "You're actually taking the picture right now?" Like, she said it. I butchered that delivery, but still,
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of comedy in this that leans more towards what I enjoy rather than like last week, which is the overly campy stuff. Which I don't hate campy, but this just seemed a bit better to me. And again, and not without its faults, I think having Titania bring her products to court was really weird.
Yeah.
That was super off-putting. Like I didn't find it funny. But everything else with the boyfriends having to come back in, and also that speaks to, again, they are really hammering home how much this is affecting Jennifer. And I swear, if this isn't paid off, I'm going to be so upset. But
Yeah.
every episode, it seems like she's consistently seeing and looking at these people that don't care about her when she's Jennifer, but then when she's She-Hulk, all of a sudden everybody cares.
Yeah.
And so that has to be taking a toll on her. And every time the camera cuts to her, like when that guy that she actually had a one night stand with takes the stand, that's funny. But when he takes the stand and mentions like, no, I wouldn't have gone on a date with her, then the camera sits on Jennifer. You can see that. And then even
Yeah.
that look that they give each other when he's walking out of the courtroom. If this
Yeah.
isn't paid off, I'm going to be so upset because I think they are building up to it wonderfully. I think it's going to be something great. But, they've dropped the ball before. So,
Yeah.
WandaVision, for example. But,
Yeah.
that's to be seen, yet to be seen. But yeah, overall, I really came off this episode rather high. I found it funny, and I understood what it wanted to be, and so that worked for me a bit more than last week. After having it just be all over the place.
Yeah.
I think I like Pug and Nikki more than I liked Wong and what's her name,
Um.
Madison.
Oh, Madison.
Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I
I,
like them more. But
yeah.
yeah, that's my take.
I agree with that. I will say one thing about the about Jen and She-Hulk, that little dynamic. I do think it'll be paid off. Here's what I'm scared of. I hope it's paid off in a way that brings Jen and She-Hulk together, kind of like a Bruce and Hulk kind of way, but not like as literal. I'm scared that she's gonna realize, which I don't think they'll do this, but there's always a chance that they will, that she'll realize people like She-Hulk more, and she'll kind of push the Jen persona to the side. And I'm scared of that. I don't want that. I want her to be comfortable in being Jen and She-Hulk, and not just be like, oh well, a lot of people like She-Hulk, a lot of my friends, all these guys like She-Hulk. Maybe I should just be She-Hulk all the time. Like, no, like that's not a route I want to see her go. I want to see her be comfortable in her own skin and be comfortable with the Jen identity, not just like these guys and these people like She-Hulk more. So I'm gonna be super comfortable and just be She-Hulk all the time. It's like I when I saw all these pieces starting to be put together from the previous episodes, I was hoping that's what we are leading up to. It felt like this episode she started to see, oh, people really just only like She-Hulk, and she could either take that and learn to merge both and be like, look, you can love Jen too, or she can be like, oh, they only like She-Hulk, I'm just gonna stay She-Hulk. And I don't want her to go down that second route, if that makes sense.
I completely agree. Completely agree. Because
Yeah.
I feel like if they were to do that, have her just want to be She-Hulk, that is almost exactly what I'm talking about, of them not paying it off. If
Okay. Yeah.
that is what she takes away from this whole thing, like, I want to be She-Hulk all the time since nobody likes Jennifer, that to me would just be ignoring everything that they've set up so far, and I wouldn't like that at all. So, and I don't think they're dumb enough to do that. I really don't think
Yeah.
they will do anything like that. I I guess more than anything, I'm just hoping that what this is building up to is satisfactory for me and not
Yeah.
just having it feel like a waste of an arc. I guess it wouldn't really be an arc if it was just wasted. So
Yeah. No, but I completely agree, which is I'm glad you had brought that up because when I was taking notes earlier, I was gonna type that in my notes, but it was just way too long and I wanted to focus on like the last couple bits of the show. And so I'm glad you brought that up because that's something I wanted to touch on. Another thing I wanted to touch on, I like how you mentioned the Disney Channel aspect and how we were talking about that before we started recording because Titania is supposed to be this overarching villain, right? As so far as like what we think, and we know that Mark Ruffalo was taking pictures in mocap with Titania in her like uniform, and they were pictured together. So we have reason to believe that she's not. This isn't the last we see of her. How we get Daredevil involved and that Frog Man involved, I don't know, but if we're gonna say she's the main overarching villain, which she has been in this first half of the season, like it needs to be better. I feel like she is too Disneyfied, and this goes back to the whole influencer thing. And I hate how that stuff is like portrayed in media. Well, like yeah, that's definitely an accurate representation, or if not, like a caricature. I don't know however you say it of what an influencer in real life is. Sometimes it's just especially in this show, it's just super like kiddie,
yeah,
and maybe that's what they're going for, which is why I'm saying you have to take the show at what it's like. You have to rate the show at what it's trying to do, not what like comparing this to like The Wire or Breaking Bad or like some of the most critically acclaimed TV shows of all time. You got to take it as it's She-Hulk, a fun little sitcom, whatever. So with all that being said, I just don't think Titania is doing it for me right now, and that's a big problem I had with this episode. It really felt too kiddie at times, um, and like I love Pug and Nikki, and they had me dying. Like you said, that Chinese where she talks to him in Chinese, and he's like, "I don't speak Chinese." That was so hilarious. And their chemistry, like I liked their chemistry and how they were feeding off each other. But then you look at stuff like them wearing the Avengers gear and being all decked out in it, and then when they're dancing and they give that horrible joke where it's like, "I can still see you," and they're
yeah,
like, "Oh," and then walk away. It just wasn't doing it for me, and I was just sitting here like, damn, man, because there are a ton of funny things in this whole show. Like there are moments that have me laughing out loud, like when I'm looking at my notes whenever they're talking about her suit and the other lawyer says you look like a football player pleading no contest to a
yeah,
DUI. Oh my god, bro, I started like my jaw dropped when I was like, what? No way. I started dying. And the delivery that most of the jokes have, it's all so good. And it sucks seeing Titania say something like, "This isn't over, hater." When
yeah,
just before she said, "Nice suit, Shrek." I think that's a top tier joke, bro. It's such a meta joke. It's so good because everyone's like, "Oh, this looks like Fiona." So
yeah,
for her to say, like, give a great joke like that, to turn around and be like, "This isn't over, hater," it's like, come on, bro. Like, what are
doing
we
too
doing
much,
here?
bro. Doing too
Exactly.
much.
And that's one of the biggest gripes I had with the show, was just some of the jokes just don't land. And I mean that's not a deal breaker for the entire show by like any means. Humor is subjective. Some people might have been dying at some of those jokes. It's just that's our main villain at this point, and it's really not doing it for me.
Yeah, and I think that it was it was weird because I was watching as I was watching, I thought that if that was the end of Titania, that just seems strange. But I guess like the whole "this isn't over" hater thing, I'm sure she's gonna strike again somehow. I wonder if we're ever gonna get like an explanation as to how she has powers, Titania, or anything like that. I don't see that happening. I don't see them taking the time out of the show to give her like a backstory or whatever. But watching her, I think I agree that that line is specifically, yeah, this isn't over, hater. is the hater part specifically is probably the most Disney Channel part of it all. But I I don't think I hate Titania yet. I won't go so far as to say like supremely dislike her. I also think there's still the factor of the blood thing that hasn't come up again yet, and because it doesn't seem like she's really the one that wants the blood. I feel like we would have seen something different from her if that were the case. I've seen some theories that it could be that guy that showed up again that she went on a date with because he was so interested in her anatomy and whatnot when they were on the date. And it does seem awfully weird. Granted, all of the dates showed up again in this episode, but he showed up specifically as like a backup to her lawyer friend or whatever. I can't remember. But yeah, I think that's very plausible. But I don't even know if that would be the technical big villain of the season. And also it's also just with the whole setup of the show, is there even a big villain kind of thing if they're just doing if it's like a week to week new court case every week type thing? It doesn't seem like that sort of having an overarching villain would fit in with what the show is trying to do with itself. But again, that's yet to be seen. So hopefully if they do or if they are doing that, I hope it really works because so far Titania doesn't really seem like this overarching force. But you're right. We are going to see, we know she comes up later. There's, I think, a clip of it looks like they're at a wedding almost, and she like punches. I remember it's a very short clip, and it looks like she punches Jen when she's not in She-Hulk form and like sends her flying. I don't. It looked like a wedding type setting to me, but I don't know. What we'll see what comes up with that. And there's also something I wanted to bring up. Um, I think you saw it too. It was a tweet of the someone said that one of the writers or the head writer said that episode 8 and 9 there's a special someone in it that they were really excited to play with and do stuff with. And so
Huh.
far, if they're introducing Daredevil, I can't. It was a tweet on Twitter. I thought I remember seeing you react to it or like quote tweet it or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I did.
um, looking at that and seeing as how episode 8 and 9 are not very far away, but like 2 weeks away, and Daredevil is already being teased for
Yeah.
maybe an appearance in this episode, if not, then the next episode. I don't see Daredevil being in 3 episodes. I could be wrong, but so, and I know your quote tweet said the thing because
Ben
that was a
Grimm, yeah.
rumor.
Yeah.
So I really, I hope that comes true. And
Yeah.
if that does come true with all the rumors of, oh, they're just now casting people for the Fantastic Four, the rumors that came out
True.
today, then that would just show that, like, that's not true. They already
Yeah.
cast, at least for Ben, it's not true. They already casted him.
Yeah. Um, and that, yeah, that all stems from, I mean, whoever's listening, if like people are kind of confused, like imagine listening and being like, what? How do you get Ben Grimm out of any Marvel character ever? Yeah, the leaks that came, like honestly, it was no, it was still while The Boys was filming because we were watching episode 7 while that was happening.
Yeah.
Um, Out of nowhere, someone just came out with a leak that said Ben Grimm, aka the Thing, will be in episodes 8 and 9, and he'll be like fully CGI'd out fighting with Daredevil and She-Hulk um, in the last couple of episodes, and will have like a lot to do. And that it will be played by Jason Segel from How I Met Your Mother. So, right, he was in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's honestly crazy to even think that they would do that. If they do and they keep that under wraps up until episodes 8 and 9, oh my god, that would be absolutely insane. I remember, sadly, I got Evan Peters back as Quicksilver in WandaVision, spoiled for me, but I remember seeing that leak and freaking out, being like, bro, what is going on? So like, it brings me back to that, because if they would have kept that under wraps and I would have seen Evan Peters as Quicksilver without knowing anything, I would have freaked out. I absolutely love Evan Peters. I especially love him as Quicksilver, so that would have been crazy. So to see Ben Grimm, the Thing, in this show, however they end up doing it, if they even do it, it's honestly crazy to me. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. It's just I'm still just struggling to kind of find out what like the I guess overarching villain or like I mean we know what the conflict is. It's Jen battling with, balancing She-Hulk and her balancing Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk and also balancing like lawyer and superhero stuff. Um I kind of feel like at this point I just kind of need a bigger threat, you know, and that could easily be Titania. I'm not saying it doesn't have to. I'm saying that could be Titania if done in a better way. I just feel like right now it's not really being done the best way possible. But I mean, to bring Ben Grimm in, I mean, I'm all for it, dude. We already got Daredevil potentially tonight. Um, I'm excited to see where they take that, where they take like the Frogman stuff, where they take like her whole blood, because they have to come back to that, the whole blood stuff and those like random group of guys. I agree with what you said. I don't think it's Titania. It doesn't really look like it's her. It would honestly be pretty stupid to have it be that Tinder dude. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he works under the same boss that everyone was talking about.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like if that's the overarching villain, maybe that's what gets Daredevil into Los Angeles, besides obviously picking up his new costume, as we saw. Um, but even to get them to team up and be like, look, something's going on. This person is trying to take my blood. And Daredevil's like, you know what? I can help out. Or, you know what? I know what it is. I might have an idea. Whatever, however they go about it. Um, there's still a lot left, dude. There's still a lot left. 4 episodes. I mean, that's enough to kind of wrap up a overarching villain and plot that hasn't been touched on in 2 episodes. So I'm still very excited to see that as well.
Yeah, I want to touch on the Daredevil stuff since you brought it up. Um, so firstly, I want to talk about the. So far, everybody right now is, and Aiden and I talked about this before we started recording a little bit, but I just want to say my piece on while we're recording as well. Some people seem to think that we're not gonna get him this, and I don't know that we will get him this episode. Sure. Uh, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say that we are. But
Yep.
there are people saying that we are going to essentially get the same thing that we just got with this episode, which was like a tease of his helmet, but this time it'll be him flipping in over the car, which we saw in the trailer, the first trailer for She-Hulk, or the second trailer for She-Hulk. So I don't subscribe to that idea at
Yeah.
all, because that just, you're asking people to be pissed off at that point. Like, you have to understand that that's the same thing. You're doing the same thing 2 weeks in a row, asking people to come back. It's like, you didn't give me anything more than what you gave me last week, except now he's standing there. Maybe he says one line or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
He's like,
but
didn't see that coming.
yeah, no, yeah, he'll
Oh.
do something. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, dude. I hope I low key hope there's a line like that. There's gonna be so many people pissed off, so many people
Oh,
pissed off. Which,
dude.
like, that's the MCU style comedy. I wouldn't love it, but I'm not gonna be like, they ruined Daredevil's character. I already
Yeah.
know that MCU's in shambles guy. He gonna be coming up with something. But
Oh, dude. Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
the uh the next thing I want to say, since this guy is making Daredevil a suit, it brings, at least for me, it brings up the discussion of the canonicity of the Daredevil show, because in the Daredevil show, that one guy
Yeah.
makes him all the suits. I can't remember his name, but
I wasn't he supposed to be like Stilt
he
Man or
yeah, he
something?
was a he
Yeah.
was a comic book villain. But I don't
Can't
remember
remember his name. Yeah.
either who he was supposed to be as a comic book villain, or his actual name in the show. But what's up with that? Is that, I mean, I can't remember where he was left in season 3. I think,
I think he died.
did he die? Okay, if he died, then
Yeah,
that
I
that
think
then that would make a lot more sense.
because I think I want to say it was the Hand that came after him, and he
I
went
know
back to him
Kingpin did.
because he wanted to he wanted to find out who was wearing his suit, and he went up to him and he was like, "Who'd you give my suit to, or who came to you?" Because Bullseye had it, and he was like, "I'm not telling you anything." They got in like a little fight. They went at it, and then I think either Kingpin's men came or the Hand came. No, because it might have been, it was season 3, so it was, definitely wasn't the Hand. Kingpin's men came in and they might have killed him,
Okay, if he's dead, then that makes a lot more sense. That
which
makes a
is
lot.
why people were saying
Melvin
like
is his name.
Melvin, that's his name, which is why people were saying this might be canon because his suit guy is dead. He needs a new suit guy.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
I had saw something like that. Yeah,
that makes a lot more sense then. Because I was gonna say, because also I'm sure they'll touch on this. I know Charlie Cox already did in an interview and sort of stuff. He's at a better place in his life right now. Matt is. So obviously he wants like the brighter suit. Like he's not really as edgy as he used
yeah.
to be per se. And so it's weird to me though that Matt Murdock would go to a luxury designer guy to make him
Yeah.
a suit. That
Um,
seems strange to me, but that's just nitpicky. So
yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of, because there were a lot of suits in there and there were a lot of people working in there, who else that we haven't heard of is getting like all these suits? Like, how much other superpowered individuals are there that need suits um, to fight crime? Like who are all these other people? How did Matt Murdock get in contact with them? How did Pug even get into contact with them? Like he was just
yeah.
like, oh, he was looking for some tennis shoes, and then that dude was like, all right, here's this dude, you know, and so
Um,
I don't
sorry to
know.
cut you off, but I'm
No, you're
reading it. I'm
good.
reading it here. In season 3, Melvin is forced to frame Murdoch for murder after Matt's confrontation with Bullseye, who is wearing the Daredevil suit. After Murdoch escapes, Potter is left to be taken into custody for parole violation and assaulting federal agents while he cried out for Betsy. So he's not dead, but he's in prison. He's
Ah,
definitely in prison for parole violation and that sort of thing. So it still
that
lines
makes
up,
sense.
still works out for him needing a new suit guy. But also, it's just like Matt Murdock, not the richest person, so I don't know why he'd go to a costume designer, and also why would he call for a guy in Los Angeles?
Yeah, why? Yeah, um,
Maybe I'm sure they'll explain it, and I hope they do. But
yeah. I feel like you kind of have to. You're on the opposite side of America.
yeah,
You gotta explain what gets you over there. Not only that, but like, bro, well, maybe not. Now that I say it out loud, I was gonna say maybe like we could legit see Foggy and maybe even
dude, I'd be
Karen.
so happy.
Dude,
I'd be so happy.
imagine they did like somewhere in the show, where whatever episode he's in, whether they open on this, whether it's like an end credit scene or in the middle, we're in Hell's Kitchen and he's talking to Karen and Foggy and he's like, oh, like he's telling them why he has to go to Los Angeles, and we get like a couple of seconds of them back together. Oh, that'd be so good, dude.
I would
So
love
good.
it so much, dude.
Damn, that'd be fire.
I know there were rumors this week that he's probably coming back. I think Eldon
Yeah,
Henson is his name that he might have signed on, and I if they're smart enough to bring Kingpin and Daredevil back, I think they're smart enough to do that too. Also, I think they're smart enough to bring John Bernthal back as the Punisher. So, and there was rumors about that this week too that he signed
that's
on for
yeah.
the Daredevil show.
Well, apparently they were also saying that Kristen Ritter was supposed to be in it, but has
Oh, I
scheduling
remember
conflicts
that.
and issues. Well, now they're saying so since she dropped out, now they're bringing John Bernthal in, and he's gonna take her spot and replace her in the Daredevil show. I'm like, what scheduling issues could Kristen Ritter have to
I
turn
don't know.
down a Jessica Jones in the MCU? That's the MCU money, bro, for like an
Yeah,
18 show season. Like, I don't know. So
that's true.
I don't know how credible that is. I don't know if I even believe it. Cause like, come on, why are you turning down an 18 episode, especially to play Jessica Jones? I know I'm sure she said in the past that she's willing to come back to that character.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
Plus
she
it's
loves doing it.
MCU money. I mean, if whatever happens, if we're getting John Bernthal back as Punisher, which is all but like officially confirmed by now,
Right.
I'm all for it.
Definitely. And dude, that's gonna be so nice. We're getting dude, it's just I'm thinking back to 2018, all the scary days of like everything is getting canceled right before our eyes, and then
Oh, dude.
it's all coming
That's
back now.
you want to know a funny story? And I tell this story, and it sounds so unbelievable, but like I swear it's true. So this was like 2019, right? And I think I just finished watching Endgame, and I think I was either about to watch Far From Home, or I was on my way to the theater to watch it, or like afterwards. It was somewhere around that time. I um, I remember sitting and thinking to myself, and I was like, man, li- this sounds so funny saying it out loud. It sounds so unbelievable. But I thought to myself, and I said, man, there is literally nothing stopping me from like there's nothing. Time is gonna move on, and I'm gonna go and see all these movies in theaters next year. Like we got Phase 4 coming. There's nothing standing in my way. And then boom, COVID hits and everything gets delayed. And I was like, are you kidding me, bro? I can't have anything. Because I was like, dude, I'm MCU is peaking right now. Like I'm here on board, like because I'm usually late to a lot of stuff. I get on board and then it turns to crap, or like it just doesn't pan out. And so I was like, dude, I'm finally here, like in the middle of it. Like let's go. And like nothing's stopping me. Boom, COVID, and I was like, oh, great. So I'm getting scared, especially now that we have like Secret Wars and Daredevil, Fantastic
Yeah.
Four, Kang Dynasty. I'm like, just please, nothing,
Yeah.
please.
Hey, you're on board for Better Call Saul and the boys, though. Those
Yes,
are well, I
I
guess
got
Better
to
Call
witness
Saul is over.
that.
It's not at its peak anymore, but
Yeah. The
the
boys,
boys,
though.
yeah, the boys, absolutely, and Invincible. Hopefully,
Exactly.
season 2 and 3 are good. We'll find out. But this
Oh
isn't an Amazon podcast, so.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I wanted to just mention Daredevil because there's those questions that I had leading up after it, and we talked about it before recording. Really wish they didn't show him in the trailer because that reveal at the end of this episode just feels like it was meant to get us super excited. And I've seen some people like say that they should have put in the Daredevil theme, which I agree. I 100% agree. Uh, made that would have made it a little bit more hype even after having seen him in the trailer already.
Yeah.
But still, just having him not in the trailer at all would have been the best possible outcome for that whole moment. I still got excited. I was like, "Oh yes, I love to see it. Love to see them little horns on the helmet, bro."
It's
But
beautiful, bro. It's beautiful.
yeah, exactly. But I hope that we do see Kristen Ritter again. I remember there was rumors, at least that I saw, that she was going to be in this show, but that's not. I don't
Yeah.
think that's going to pan out. I don't think with the talk of both Ben and Daredevil is coming, but potentially Ben Grimm showing up.
Yeah.
I don't think there's room for her.
Yeah. So I actually have the stuff pulled up here. It's actually been pretty big news, like being recycled by everyone. I'll read this first tweet by Tom underscore Smith 717 on Twitter. He says basically, Born Again is reintroducing the Netflix characters to the mainstream, and they plan to bring in Ritter, but there's been a scheduling problem for Daredevil Born Again, so they needed another Netflix star to fill the role. It's John Bernthal. Wouldn't be shocked if Ritter cameos though. And then someone else said afterwards, Charles Murphy actually, he said uh, I too have heard about the John Bernthal buzz. May remember months back, I said I was told to pump the brakes on Twitter, on Kristen Ritter joining Echo and Daredevil. Sorry, I'm out of it today. This was why, and Bernthal's name was mentioned. The type of that wasn't me this time. I will also say I'm absolutely not confirming, just sharing what I heard. So apparently, um, her her arc in the show is getting refitted to John Bernthal and his character. So
Okay.
apparently she was supposed to be really big in it, but now she can't be in it. John Bernthal is going to be a huge player in it, which I'm fine with either one of them. Both are
Yeah, I
amazing.
mean, yeah, I am fine with either one. Like, it sucks because I think the highlight of like the Defenders show was, for me anyway, was like their relationship, um, Daredevil and Jessica Jones. But also the first half of season 2 of Daredevil is some amazing stuff
Yeah.
between the two of them. They Charlie Cox and John Bernthal play off each other so well.
Oof.
So that's a bummer. But if they say that she might hopefully still get a cameo, that still makes me happy. So
Yeah. I mean, dude, like we're definitely we know we're seeing Daredevil. We know we're seeing him out of the suit talking to Jen. We know we see him in the suit fighting with Jen. We know they might even hit it off. There is a chance we get some dialogue about Foggy, about Karen, about even Fisk, dude, about Punisher. anything, bro. And that is what gets me the most excited. Because, damn, dude, like Daredevil is one of, if not second best comic book TV show of all time. I think I'm still giving the boys the slight edge. It wasn't recency
Yeah,
bias, I
yeah.
promise. I'm still kind of giving it the edge. But dude, they go hand. You can honestly switch them out. I would not be mad. One of the best, if not the best, if not the second best, um, comic book TV shows of all time. Just to see him back interacting with characters like Peter Parker, bro, interacting with
Yeah.
characters like Spider-Man, She-Hulk. Um, Holy crap, dude! It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing.
Absolutely insane. Truly. I can't wait to see him. I hope it's tonight. I hope it's tonight.
I do. But
Um
let's not forget whose show this actually is. So,
yeah. Okay, okay,
uh,
okay.
but I mean, yeah. Overall, I mean, it was a fun episode. You know, I feel like you got to learn to laugh with this episode. You have to learn to laugh at it. Um,
Yeah.
I will say, dude, Jen, every time she shrinks down and she's just swallowed by that big suit, it just gets me dead every time. She just looks like a little kid, just like sitting there and talking to that other lawyer lady. That dialogue, that
That's
piece of dialogue they shared was incredible.
yeah,
Go ahead.
in the bar you're
Yeah,
saying? Yeah. That was she in the show earlier? I completely forget. That lawyer
yeah.
friend that they okay.
She was introduced very like for it was like a quick scene. I want to say it was three. I think it was whenever she got into the new firm and they were dealing with that elf lady from Asgard. Um,
Okay.
I think she might have been introduced. I think um, she was just supposed to be like a one line where her and Nikki are talking and they're like admiring her basically, which is why they were so like, you know, in awe seeing her again this episode.
Yeah. Well, I
But
think I mean, we pretty much covered everything. One thing I do want to say about her suit, um, I'm excited to see not only just the power suit, super suit, whatever, but also whatever just like business suit that he made for her because I want to see how
yeah,
that um fits on her now. That'll be cool.
yeah, I had put I'm excited to see in my notes. I was like, I'm excited to see both her suits. So I
Yeah.
think that um, that lawyer suit that she wants to wear. I think that would be really cool to see because
Yeah.
we know she's in like that dress at that wedding thing, and that's where I think
Oh yeah.
that's why when you said wedding, like I remember that shot of her in that dress as She Hulk. So I mean that could be interesting. Maybe all her clothes are just gonna kind of be a little up and down, up and down. I was gonna say one more thing. Oh yeah, the obviously the credit scene with all the shoes. Um,
Oh yeah. Yeah. That Easter egg thing. Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't
because
even notice that until once you told me to look back at it.
yeah,
Then I was like,
yeah. Someone had a buddy of mine had texted me, Jacob, Peak Fandoms on TikTok. He texted me after the episode in all caps, and he was like, "Bro, the shoes! Look at shoes!" And I was like sitting there, I was analyzing every single area of that room that they were in because I thought that's what he meant by the shoes. He's like, "Look at the shoes in that guy's office or whatever." And so I was scrolling through the credits and I saw those. The first thing that caught my eye, which funny enough, is the Thing shoes.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, out of all of the Fantastic Four members, you chose the Thing, his shoes to show. I don't know, dude. Granted, I mean, they have like Ghost Rider on here, they have Cyclops for whatever
Doctor
reason,
Doom.
Doctor
Yeah.
Doom, Green Goblin, they had Deadpool,
Electro, which is strange.
Electro, yeah. Um, they had a ton of people on here, so like maybe I shouldn't be get too hype over the Ben Grimm shoe, but at the same time, maybe that's even a Magneto one at the very top. Um, at the same time, I don't know, man. Like Ben Grimm, those Moon Knight shoes look fire, by the way.
Yeah, those are kind of sick. Yeah, on the bottom. Yeah,
Yeah, I think they even got Sandman and Black Panther as well.
they got Namor, which is weird. Next
Uh,
to the left of the Green Goblin, Namor.
to the left. Oh, yeah,
You can see
yeah.
like his hairdo on for the
Oh
for the
God, and
lip of the shoe. It's
the
weird.
little wing, too. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, you got all these people. The one that caught my eye first was it was obviously Ben Grimm, bro. So I don't know. I mean, it's just an Easter egg, where I'm not trying to be like, so this shoe at this angle definitely means that so and so's coming into like, no,
Yeah.
but it is a damn cool Easter egg. I will say that
Yeah, this is
it's
one of my
super
favorite
cool.
ones. This is really cool.
Yeah, it's fun to just pick apart, sit there and pick apart. So yeah, there was that. We'll see if any of these people show up here soon. It'd be kind of cool. I know a lot of these people's name have been thrown into the rumor mill, like Cyclops was being talked about, and obviously Ben Grimm, as we said, Ghost Rider's there too, and then the Donnie Blaze stuff. Obviously, was a clear nod to
Yeah.
him, but um, nonetheless, dude's super cool to see that.
Yeah.
Um, and then just one more thing, that courtroom scene when she's reading her bio and she's like mean green and straight poured into these cheese.
Straight poured it. That's the
That
name of the
was
episode too.
yeah, and that was so funny. But what got me was whenever Titania looks over at her and goes ill, and She Hulk's just like her facial expressions throughout the whole courtroom scene was the funniest stuff, bro.
I thought
So
also the CGI I think looked rather good, except for when she was in her office. I
it's
think when she
always
was
an
like,
office, dude.
yeah, the office stuff just doesn't look good, but
It's always the
everything
office.
else looked good.
Um, yeah, I thought she looked good. I thought her facial expressions were like if they've nailed anything on the CGI, it's her face and her facial expressions. So good, dude. She looks
Yeah,
amazing, and she never fails to make me laugh with her little looks and like disgust. It's
yeah.
hilarious. Um,
I think that's. I feel like
yeah.
that's it though. Like this is. I mean, this was like the shortest episode of them all. I believe it was
It's
only like.
24 minutes, dude.
Yeah, it was
If
real
you
short.
if you don't count the recap, I think it's down to like 21, 22
Yeah,
minutes, which is
seriously.
insane.
I hope the Daredevil ones are longer. But yeah, I think we
Yeah.
touched on everything, and I guess like her brother came in at the beginning and was trying to sell the titanium
That's
stuff. But there's not really anything to talk about there.
I thought it was funny how he was trying to he was trying to tell her how trademarks worked, and she's just like, bro, just screams into her pillow. I thought that was
Um,
funny.
but yeah, overall, I liked the episode a lot. It was very enjoyable to me in comparison to last week's episode, which I know I'm in the minority saying that because I've heard so many people say this was their least favorite episode of the entire show, and then last week was their favorite episode of the entire show. So I'm like completely flip flopped. I, I'm the embodiment of he's trying to be different on those TikTok comments, so that's nice to know. But hey, I'm not even trying, so that's okay. Overall, though, I think again the comedy in this one was a lot better for me, other than the Disney Channel stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see where they take this Jennifer stuff and her confronting her feelings about how people view her as Jen versus how people view her as She-Hulk. So that's
Yeah.
an exciting thing that I can't wait for.
I completely agree. It's been a lot of ups and downs for me, jokes don't really hit that much, but overall it's a really fun show. It's fun. You have to, like, I've said this a thousand times this episode, but you just have to take the show as what it is and enjoy it for what it is and not what it could be or what it isn't, which isn't
Yeah,
a hot take, but apparently to millions of people on Twitter and TikTok it is. So um, if you learn to do that, I mean, you'll just appreciate it, and
yeah,
especially with Daredevil coming in, rumors of like a big player that they had so much fun with, whether it's the Thing or some hidden villain that we don't know about yet. We still have all that to come. So worst case scenario, we get all that stuff, and we just kind of think the show's so whatever. Um, I'm here for it. I'm excited for it. I look forward to watching this week to week. I stay up every night, so that's something. Yeah. So I don't really have too much complaints that I haven't already touched on. Andor tonight for us because we didn't get to watch it and stay up last night. At least I didn't. So I got Andor to watch right now.
damn,
Um,
we gonna binge 3 episodes
yeah,
of Andor and New She-Hulk tonight. That's crazy.
Yep. So got a lot on my plate. I'm very excited for all of it, um, all forms of that media that we're getting, and we will be back earlier. I promise for episode 5 of She-Hulk or episode 6 of She-Hulk. Hopefully we see our boy tonight.
Yeah, that's my one hope coming out of this episode, coming up to this episode. But at the same time, I'm not going to be upset if we don't get him. I've watched
Yeah.
the show up to this point. I'm not only watching for Daredevil. I love She-Hulk as a
Yeah.
character. So if they do bring him in this episode, I'll be happy. Only time, and I'll bring this up again. Only time I'm going to be mad as if it's the same thing, just like a 10-second, not even 10 seconds, because that one was not 10, like a
Yeah.
2-second thing at the end of the episode, which it sounds like I'm complaining about. No, I loved this episode's one, but if they do it again in this one, then I'm going to be mad. Then I'm going
Yeah.
to be upset.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna sit here like I stayed up until 2:30 just for that. Which I mean, if the episode's a banger and they do that, I mean, I wouldn't mind staying up. I'd be upset about about them repeating. But if the episode's a banger.
yeah.
But I don't know, dude. We just need to see our boy. After this episode, we have 3 more left, so gotta get to it. Gotta explain a lot, and if you can do it in however much time you need, I'm all for it because Matt Murdock is back. So yeah, we got episode 6 tonight. Hyped, baby.
Yes,
Hyped.
sir. Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Well, that has been another beautiful episode. Episode 29, I believe. We're almost at 30, which means we are almost a third of the way to 100, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Uh.
So, yeah, I mean, we're going to keep these coming as long as y'all keep showing. If y'all stop showing, we're still going to keep these coming, baby. So, um, yeah, that's it from us. We'll see y'all back again tomorrow, the day after, maybe
Yeah.
for She Hulk episode 6. And yeah, make sure to keep tuning in. Got a lot of stuff up here if you want to go watch old episodes. Fantastic Four fan cast, some fun episodes with Ben, just ranking a lot of fun stuff. Stranger Things, The Boys, it's all there. All of my stuff is in the link tree in the bio. All of Charlie's stuff is in the link tree in the bio. Go support. All of Ben's stuff is there because that's the boy, even though he could not make it tonight. So, yeah, Charlie, any last statements?
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Most of our episodes have been doing a lot better. I've been seeing view wise. So thank you guys for that. And thank you guys for hitting the like button. Even if you be hitting the dislike button, thank you.
Thank you.
You still out here supporting, engaging. We appreciate it. But yeah.
Um,
The what? I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No, you're good.
Oh.
You're good. I was just gonna say.
I think so far this She-Hulk series has been pretty well. You guys have been liking it, and we like doing it. I mean, we're not completely enamored with the show, but I can't say that we felt that way about an MCU show in a while. Um, but that just comes with the territory, I guess. So
Yeah. I was gonna say real quick because you reminded me. Um, any support is good support. If you want to leave a rating, follow on any of your audio, leave a review that pushes the podcast out. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, dislike, whatever, um, we appreciate any of it. If even if you're still or if you're even still listening to this part of the podcast. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. I got to throw out the little reminders in there.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you guys again. Seriously, yeah. If you're again, just hit the like button if you enjoyed. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. Who
Go
knows?
ahead. It's
Yeah,
actually kind of interesting seeing like, oh, someone disliked it. Okay, cool. Like, let's see. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. So,
yeah,
and if you disliked it, let us know why. If you don't like the way my face looks, hey, drop it in the comment section. I'm all for it, bro.
yeah. Exactly. Well, I love to laugh at myself. Laugh at
Engage.
yeah.
Um, but yes, thank y'all. Thank everybody. Thank everyone that's hit that like and subscribe button. Even watch the videos. I appreciate it. So, without further ado, that has been She Hulk episode 5. Got another episode coming out this week. Peace.
Adios.